Utah State basketball game is final, and now it's your chance to text and call about it with Al Lewis and John Russell as KVNU Aggie Game Day continues with Aggie Call. The numbers are 753-5868 for calls, and the text line is 435-339-0321. Aggie Call, part of KVNU Aggie Game Day for USU Hoops, is sponsored by Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat, LSS Insurance, Young Truck and Trailer, DD Auto and Salvage, My Mattress, Advanced Heating and Air Conditioning, Elements Restaurant, White Pine Funeral Home, Chem-Dry of Northern Utah, Aegis Home Health and Hospice, Les Olson Company, Prodigy Brewing, Cache Valley Bank, Jarek's Fine Jewelry, Darrow's Appliance, HSA Depot, Advanced Fireplace and Stove, Alpine Home Medical, S.E. Needham Jewelers, Thermo Fisher, Primrose Home Care, and Golden Spike Electric. It's KVNU Aggie Call with Al Lewis and John Russell.
It certainly is, and the Aggies are 6-0 with the victory tonight over the Utah Tech Trailblazers. The Aggies lead the last 11 minutes of the game and win the game by the final score of 86-81. It was more competitive than I think a lot of people thought. The odds makers thought the Aggies were like an 18 or 19-point favorite. But again, Utah Tech came to play. John Russell, you were up the spectrum for a little while before you came down here towards the end of the game. Yeah. I'll tell you what, the guy in the first half, that Cameron Gooden, just would not be denied. He had 20 at the half. Here's another guy who gets a career high against our Aggie team, but Utah State finds a way, despite some no Rylan Jones from early in the game with an injury, and Stephen Ashworth out 4 or 5 minutes in the second half with foul trouble, and the Aggies still found a way to win the game. Although it wasn't a pretty win, it's another win.
Well, we had to sweat it out. There's no doubt about that. As you mentioned, good, just phenomenal game in the first half. Just absolutely took over. Aggies didn't seem to have an answer. Z did an okay job, but he kind of was feeling it, and it was very interesting. It was good crowd. Students showed up back from Thanksgiving. They were in good spirits, really excited about it. But tonight was the first time this year where you could sense there was a little nervousness the way the game progressed.
Well, because you're supposed to beat this team that's only in its third year of transitioning to Division I, their first year where they feel like they're a little bit competitive. I mean, they haven't been blown out badly by Washington, Nevada, some of these teams, and you can see why. Mm-hmm. And their big guy was in foul trouble a lot of the game. And, Jalen, before the game, one of his keys was, we got to go inside and do some things. And it seemed like it took us a long time to do that. We seemed to rely on the three. Early in the game, we had a lot of threes that were right there and rattled out. Finally, we made a few baskets from three to kind of get us going a little
definitely
bit.
Fell in love with the three-point shot early in the first half, and I agreed with Jalen. A team like this, you really had to be dominant inside. I don't think Atkin got his first bucket until, was it in the second half, or it might have been very end of the first half. There just wasn't much of a preference to desire to go inside. And it was interesting because the Aggies struggled a little bit. You were right, they were close, but they weren't making them. But on the flip side, Utah Tech, they were on fire in the first half.
And Coach Judkins on our pregame said the problem with my team, we haven't shot the ball very well. And he goes, the Aggies show, we watch film and we see how you're supposed to shoot it. They watch too much film of the Aggies because they shot it better than we did tonight.
We got to find a way not to let that film get around. Yeah. But the Gooden was really solid, but Christensen offensively wasn't really a force, but he played very well defensively. And the other guys just made shots enough to keep them in the game.
I think it's the first time this year we've been out-rebounded, 30-29. At one time it was a little further apart than that. Offensive rebounds were 7-4 for them. Second chance points were 13-2 for the Trailblazers. That's the first time that's been a problem this season for this Aggie team. We've been a pretty good rebounding team. We did get 26 points in the paint. They only got 18. But look again, bench 49-19. The bench points in this game. Yeah. We are the number 3 scoring bench in the nation. Ashworth's the number 1 scorer off the bench in the country. Depending on Rylan Jones' status, he may be a starter now, but 27 from Ashworth. Again, we've had 3 terrific games from him.
Yeah, it's just going to improve his leadership in the nation as far as leading bench scorer. He came in, and it was a game also where he was on fire. He shot the ball incredibly well, 7 for 12 from beyond the arc. And, just they didn't have an answer for him. But the thing about him is he's such a smart player. The shots that he took, there were no forced shots. Mm-hmm. He knows when to take it, when to back off, try and dish it off. And he did a great job with that. But, again, I want to go back to what Jalen said earlier. The key was going inside. When the Aggies tried to get inside and then kicked or went to the basket, they were successful.
We did get 17 twos in the game compared to 13 threes. That's a little better than some of the games we've seen. And this is the first game where we shot better almost from two than from three, which has been a little bit of something we've watched. From 2-point range, we shot 17 out of 24 in this game. That's a terrific percentage. Yeah. And the Aggies did make 13 of 16 free throws, even though Utah Tech took more free throws in the game. They had 29 from Gooden and 15 from Gonsalves. That guy can shoot it. He's a kid from Lehigh High School. And then 17 from Leader. Then on the other side for the Aggies, Ashworth, 27. Funk had 20. Funk made some big shots tonight. Look at Funk's line, 20 with 8 rebounds and 7 assists in the game. And Max Scholge did hit the 10-assist mark tonight with 10 points and 4 rebounds. So he didn't quite get another double-double, but again, he's starting to get in that range again. And here's John Judkins, who had he's the only one guy, their coach, who had a triple-double for the Aggies, better than Shaylor Halleman. So it was almost on a night when he came in that we had another guy get there if Scholge could have got a few more rebounds.
Well, Max is really kind of showing what an all-around game he has. I would love to see him a little more aggressive offensively.
Yeah, it's almost like he made extra passes, and he did set up a lot of guys with passes tonight. And you know who set up a lot of guys was Funk, late to Atkin. Atkin was able to make some dunks off of great passes, so he ended up going 6 for 7 with his 15. And at one time I was thinking Dan wasn't having that great a game, and all of a sudden, wow, 15 points and 5 boards.
Just wasn't really a presence, but, I don't think the other guys were looking for him. I think the key is there, and we've got guys that can shoot the three-pointer. Tonight it was really Funk and Ashworth. They were the only ones. But, the key is when you have more than one guy, it spreads the court just a little bit more, and you saw that especially going down the second half. Stat I'm sure you were going to get to, though, the big one, once again, 24 assists on 30 made baskets.
Yep. Again, the passing game was terrific again. And it's Scholge and Funk who got the most assists tonight, not Jones and Ashworth. And again, Rylan Jones didn't look good when he got it looked like an elbow to the chin, and I don't know if concussion, broken jaw. I don't know. They said he went off the court holding his jaw, or they were holding his jaw, helping him up the tunnel. So Aggies win the game, though, the final 86-81, much closer than we expected. Not a great defensive effort, for sure, for against Utah Tech tonight. We've got a lot to talk about. We'd love to have you join with us. Our text line is 339-0321. Phone number is 753-KVNU. And we are post-game game day on KVNU.
This is Zach with HSA Depot. Christmas is nearly here. Make sure you be merry and bright by using your pre-tax funds on your medical needs. We know your regular holiday budget is disappearing quick, so instead, save money by using your pre-tax income to buy qualifying medical supplies. HSA Depot carries hundreds of unique and dashing eligible products to help you conquer your healthcare. Come to HSA Depot next to Sally Beauty Supply and see how much you can save this holiday season. HSA Depot, 5-star review.
It's game time, and you're in the locker room ready to take the field. But suddenly, you notice a player you don't recognize. He's wearing your team's jersey, and he even knows your name. But you've never seen him before now. Would you trust this stranger with your team's playbook? That's exactly how phishing scams work. And the first quarter of 2022 saw the highest volume of phishing attacks ever recorded. Protect your business with the Les Olson Security Suite from Les Olson IT. Learn more at lesolson.com.
Thermo Fisher Scientific is hiring for their manufacturing, distribution, and warehouse team. And that's great news for anyone seeking a rewarding career. Thermo Fisher offers positions across multiple shifts, competitive compensation, health benefits, paid time off, bonuses, and an excellent work environment. Help Thermo Fisher make the world healthier, cleaner, and safer. Visit jobs.thermofisher.com and search Logan. Thermo Fisher Scientific is an equal opportunity employer.
Prodigy Brewing has so much appreciation and gratitude for the warm embrace Cache Valley has given us. We want to invite you to join us for Sunday brunch from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Our Sunday-only brunch menu features sweet and savory options such as churro French toast, chilaquiles, fried chicken egg sandwich, and a Bloody Mary bar. You also won't want to miss our hash browns. Whether you're out with the family or friends, Prodigy Brewing is the place to be in Cache Valley. Open 7 days a week, located at 25 West Center Street in beautiful downtown Logan.
The Young Automotive Group is proud to announce Young Truck and Trailer Center in Cache Valley. Whether it's heavy equipment trailers, horse trailers, race car trailers, or cargo and utility trailers, we're excited to offer some of the finest trailers and flatbed work trucks to Cache Valley. Our team of experts look forward to helping you find the right truck or trailer to fit your needs, with competitive prices offered on every make and model for sale on our lot. With our extensive inventory, you'll find the best deals right here in Cache Valley. Young Truck and Trailer Center, just off Highway 89 in Logan. Think young, drive young.
It's back. Jarek's Fine Jewelry in Logan is having our annual Pick a Pearl event. If you've attended this in the past, you know how much fun we have. And if you haven't come before, you don't want to miss this exciting event. For only $10, pick your oyster, open it that day, or save it for that stocking stuffer surprise. Mark your calendar, Friday and Saturday, December 9th and 10th. Pick a pearl at Jarek's Fine Jewelry. Look for the bright green cars.
Jarek's Fine Jewelry. Make it special, make it Jarek's.
Nothing compares to the warmth and feel that a wood stove provides. The two-time Best of Northern Utah winning team says there's never been a better time to replace your old inefficient wood stove and install a new energy-efficient EPA-certified Vermont casting wood product in your home. The U.S. government is offering federal tax credits of 26% on your wood stove install. For Vermont casting units, that includes stoves, venting, and labor. Call or email Advanced Fireplace and Stove for a free in-home estimate. Call 435-752-7272 or go to advancedfireplaceandstove.com.
It's KVNU Aggie Game Day, brought to you by White Pine Funeral Home on News Talk KVNU.
If you watched it on the internet or you were in the Spectrum tonight, it was a competitive game, not really expected that way. Aggies led for 21 minutes and 33 seconds, and Utah Tech had the lead for about 12 minutes and 39 seconds. But there were 9 ties, 24 lead changes. But after the 11-minute mark to finish the game, the Aggies were never behind. So let's go back and look at that time of the game. That is when R.J. Idlerock made a 3-point basket to give the Aggies a lead. He added later on a drive-in, a little fake, got the guy off the play, banked it into the basket. Also in that time, Shulga got a dunk on a pass. Ashworth made a 3 on a step back. And then Ashworth picked up his 4th foul, but it continued as, again, Funk made a 3-pointer. Akin gets a dunk on an inbounds play. There were 2 great inbounds plays right there in a row. Yeah. Funk scored on the one on the 3-pointer, and then they got the dunk to Dan. And so the Aggies took advantage of that and had it out to 10. And then eventually it never got any closer than 5 the rest of the game. But, again, the finals 86-81, the 5-point margin.
Yeah. Well, it's funny how little fundamentals will make the difference. And as you talked about that inbound plays.
Inbounds play. And we had 1 turnover in the last 11 minutes of the game after we'd kind of had some bad stretches of turnovers in this game.
Yeah. I'm going back and looking at this. I wanted to have it before. I think the Aggies didn't have a 2-possession lead until late in the second half, about 11 minutes left in the second half.
Well, it was at when they finally got it out past 6, the biggest margin they had was 8, and that was at about the 7-minute mark. Yeah. So, they got it to 8 points there, and that was the Akin dunk on the inbounds play.
And, that's the scary thing. You let a team like Utah Tech, they had nothing to lose in this game, really. They came in. This is going to look good on their resume as far as being able to get out there, go on your opponent's court. You and Jalen had talked about this. They've been going on the road, getting their paychecks. But to come out and play a good Utah State team, and this doesn't diminish who they are or what they've done, but to come in, play that competitively in the Spectrum in front of a hostile crowd, it's going to give them confidence.
And you wonder again, after they had played so many kind of consecutive games, had a little run going, and then they have 9 days off or whatever. Does that make a difference a little bit to this? Even if they did practice, and even if they kind of kept going on, you lose maybe a little bit of an edge there.
I think so. I think so. The Aggies came out. They were sloppy in the first half, and really they played the Utah Tech game. Utah Tech didn't want it to be, a smooth flowing, classic basketball type of game. They wanted to muddy it up.
It worked exactly for them.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that helped them, though, is they made shots. They hadn't been a great shooting team, and they made shots tonight on the season for sure. They're shooting 40% on the year, 41, and they shoot 48 for the game, 52 from three, where, again, on the season they had made just 32% from three, so that's big. Let me mention sponsors, HSA Depot, a store where you can confidently use your HSA and FSA as you get down towards the end of this year. Maybe you got to use it. Use it for your medical supplies for you and your whole family. Thermo Fisher Scientific, making the world healthier, cleaner, and safer. And again, you can always check on jobs at, you go to job.thermofisher.com and search Logan for that. And we have Daryl's Appliance in Benson, Utah, of course, with Whirlpool and Maytag and other great brand names there. They have some really good deals right now. You don't need to shop the box scores. Go out to, again, Airport Road and Daryl's Appliance. Text line is 339-0321. We got anything in there?
Yeah, we've got our first of the night. Love to hear more from you, but this came from 8387. Great way to explain the game. Survived. They did survive. Felt that the reffing was awful. There were some questionable calls.
It was really inconsistently called. There was a couple of times that some of the late in the game, when the game's kind of almost done, and that slip by the driver, Gooden, he slipped. He didn't really get fouled on that play. They had anticipated a call there, and they called it on the Aggies. Again, Tommy Nunez has worked for a long, long time. He's worked too long a time. That kind of thing. One of the officials in that game. The other two were newer guys.
Well, really, as you said it, and that's the thing is, if the refs are consistent, that's all you can ask for.
And they weren't.
If they're going to go one way, fine. Let them be very, tight on their calls. That's fine if they're going to do it all the time. If they're going to be really loose and let you play, that's fine. But tonight it wasn't consistent.
No, it wasn't.
And that makes it hard to play.
And you get into foul trouble with their big guy, with our Ashworth. Z at the end of the game had 4 fouls, so some of those things started to happen in this game. But, again, Utah State does win. And, of course, that's the most important thing as the season goes on. The Aggies go to 6-0 with this victory. The very first time they've ever played Utah Tech. Aggies now have gone this is, I think, the 4th time in 10 years that they've gone to now 6-0. I know they started 7-0 3 years ago, so they're trying to match that. And they have a really tough game coming up on Sunday night against San Francisco. They're going to have to play better. I mean, as good as Gooden was, Shabazz and those guys are better.
Yeah, exactly. And, here's another text. Again, love to hear from you, 435-339-0321. This text comes from 9315, and we just started to touch on this. Do you guys think all the time off hurt the team? I do. But it'll be interesting to see.
But what are you supposed to do? Because, again, they had to give him time at Thanksgiving because they're not going to have any time at Christmas because they're going to be playing in Hawaii, and then they're coming right back and league play starts.
Yeah.
So.
Well, they were limited in what they could do. It's going to be interesting to see how they bounce back, whether they're gassed after playing a harder game. I mean, let's face it. All of our, at least for myself, I thought what was going to happen was that the Aggies would go out, get a big early lead. We were going to see guys off the bench, see some people playing that we're not used to, some different combinations. You had guys that had to go out and they had to play minutes. And, and now with Rylan, we haven't really touched on that. But, Ashworth played 32 minutes, Funk 36, Shulga 35.
Akin 31.
Yeah, and they're going to have to turn around. They're going to have to get to San Francisco and play a tough team.
Well, let's face it. Right now, we're not getting anything real positive from Bairstow, from Dorius. Yeah. Then we don't get Rylan in the game. So you've got your 9 that you've been playing, and you got 3 big cogs out of that. It wasn't a great offensive game for Z. He did get in there and maybe make a little bit of difference on defense, but fortunately got a little bit from Idle Rock that helped tonight. And then you've really got, again, Akin and Ashworth and Funk and Shulga that kind of carried the way tonight in this game.
Well, Z's going to have to step up. There's no doubt. I think we're going to have to have some more from Idle Rock.
He has, and stuff. And I hope the Rylan injury, I mean, he's so hard-nosed. He's too hard-nosed in some ways, the way he likes to play and get in there and mix it up and knows where the ball's going to be and all that. I think he thought he was going to take the ball away from the guy who rebounded the ball there. All of a sudden, the guy comes around and his elbow goes right. Just because of the size, he's at 6'8", and Ryland's at 6'1" or whatever.
I'll tell you, the scary thing is you see people go down, they'll get hit, and you look at them and you're like, okay, they got the wind knocked out of them, or there's some birdies.
He was down.
Around. He was down, and even when they finally got him up, he was wobbly.
And remember last year,
well.
the Weber State game, the game in back in Myrtle Beach, a couple of those games, he got belted pretty good, and tonight again another one. Let's hope it's not bad. Need to take another break, and then we'll probably start to hear from the players in the Spectrum. We'd love to hear from you players who are listening. Again, to Aggie Call postgame. Aggies 86-81, the final over Utah Tech. What a good performance by John Judkin's team as he comes back again, as he was here as a basketball player, first ever team that earned an automatic NCAA spot that Utah State had. That was 1988, winning the at that time, I think it had turned PCA into Big West, or it was still maybe PCA. It was close to where the name changed right in there. But again, he was on that team. Kevin Nixon and Jeff Anderson and Reed Newey and Scooter Grant, some of those guys. A great team. So, again, 753-KVNU is our phone number, and 339-0321 is our text line number. And we'll be back with more Game Day on KVNU, the Aggies with the win.
We're heading into some crazy weather this winter, which means power outages. Tyler and his team at Golden Spike Electric can install a Generac automatic standby generator for your home so you can avoid issues when the power goes out. If you have one already, Golden Spike Electric can maintain your Generac automatic standby generator for you. Find them online at gsegenerators.com or call 435-257-3016. Golden Spike Electric and Generac automatic standby generators. Power you can count on.
Hi, this is James with White Pine Funerals. We're excited to host our annual holiday concert featuring a choir and musical ensemble by Jay Richards. All are welcome to attend free of charge. We extend a special invitation to anyone who is missing a loved one this holiday season. Food donations are encouraged at the door for the Cash Food Pantry. Back-to-back performances will take place at White Pine on Thursday, December 1st at 7 p.m. and 8:30 p.m. That's Thursday, December 1st at 7 p.m. or 8:30 p.m.
It's never too cold or wet to get rid of that old vehicle. Now is the time to earn extra cash for the holidays by calling DD Auto and Salvage. Let them pay you for that junk vehicle. DD Auto and Salvage makes it easy and fast to get rid of your junker vehicles, paying you the most money possible. Pickup is available. DD Auto and Salvage in Logan wants to pay you today. Call 787-1204.
That's 787-1204 today.
See store for details.
Aegis Home Health and Hospice loves helping the people they serve. Aegis is a home health and hospice organization that lives by core values of character, experience, and trust. Every day, Aegis' goal is to help you with whatever your healthcare needs are and to do it wherever you need us to. Aegis, A-E-G-I-S, Aegis Home Health and Hospice. Call 723-9000 or find them at myaegis.com.
This is Ryan at My Mattress. A mattress store recently closed right next door to our Riverdale location. Most people have said how awesome that is for us. I think I disagree. At My Mattress, we love competition. We love it if you shop other places, but also give us a shot. Shop online or go to other stores, maybe even a warehouse sale, but come into My Mattress because we want our shot at winning your business. Come into My Mattress right now and see if better sleep and better pricing are what you'll find.
KVNU Game Day continues with Aggie Call. Your chance to talk about today's game. Call 753-KVNU or 800-369-KVNU.
6-0 start for Utah State. They did lead the last 11 minutes of this game to pull away after we had, like we said, 24 lead changes in this game. I think is what it turned out. And Utah State beats Utah Tech. Really good effort by the Trailblazers. Again, coached by a former Aggie. And like I said with Jalen, you knew that he'd have these guys jacked up about as much as he could be before the game for him because of how much it meant for John Judkins to come back to Logan.
Exactly. I mean, this game probably meant more to him than anyone else, and the team responded. However he coached them up, they did a great job.
Well, that Gooden, he was really electric shooting the ball. And they had a couple of guys. That Gonsalves could shoot the ball.
But 20 points in the first half, and really, again, you could tell he had that that feeling like they can't stop me. And
it's a little concerning to me that we've had 3 guys get career highs almost in back-to-back games for us in some ways going against them and things.
Well, I was just glad to see Coach trying to make a defensive change, whether it, did what he wanted it to, but, he tried to take the smaller guys, Ashworth,
and put Z
off, and put Z on him, who's a little longer.
Again, he didn't get a basket until we decided in the second half. Right. It was down to about the last about 6 minutes before he finally got his first basket.
How many times do you see that? He's the guy that wanted the half not to end. Gooden was hoping they let's just keep going, and I'll keep going.
And Funk shouldn't have slapped him in the face on that last play in the first half, too. No. Game day brought to you in part by, again, the Advanced Fireplace and Stove location. Get into all of the new fireplaces at much less than you think. From Advanced Fireplace and Stove, call them tomorrow, 752-7272. And Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat, the Allergy Clinic Hearing Aid Center as well. They're in North Logan and Providence. Most insurance products, including Select Med, are accepted. Maybe you got to use your insurance before the end of the year. Get with Cache Valley ENT for help that you need in those areas. Al Lewis, John Russell here. Thanks for joining with us tonight. Again, our text line is 339-0321. And the phone number is 753-KVNU. Anything else text-wise?
Yeah, we actually quite a few. We'll get to those. But
you got how about the game tonight down in Salt Lake?
Why are you making me do this, Al?
I know you're an Arizona fan.
Well, I'll tell you what. Craig Smith probably his best win as a Ute coach.
I think you could say that. Beating number 4 Arizona handily tonight.
81-66 in a game that really was never in doubt. Utah just kind of dominated the whole way, and a name familiar to a lot of Aggies here, Utah led by Raleigh Worcester, who ended up an assist away from a triple-double. He had 12 points, 11 boards, and 9 assists. So, good win for them, and hopefully things turn around for Utah, because I saw some pictures of the arena, and it was half full.
They just don't draw people down there. They're enthralled with football and gymnastics.
Yeah,
that's what they draw at the University of Utah, and unfortunately, they've lost that edge that they used to have, every once in a while. And Coach Smith probably misses the herd.
Yeah, no doubt. But you also got to figure a lot of the folks that might have gone to the game, they're on their way to Vegas
for the game tomorrow night.
We'll see.
That's true.
But lots of comments on the mobile app, or the text line. We appreciate that. From 3714. See, you guys are picking on me. In the meantime, we're happy to see Craig Smith's Utes upset John Russell's Arizona. Okay, see that? Why do you do that? I was very good about that. This came from 2603. Shulgan and Berso are not as solid as I would expect for how experienced they are.
I would disagree on Max right now. I think Max is playing. I mean, like I said, I think maybe he should be more offensively or thinking, but he's doing team things. He is defending. He is rebounding. He is passing, and But Barstow, after that first game, hasn't had a really good night since,
and he struggled. But 2603 did go on to say, "Glad we pulled out the win," but that was ugly at times, no doubt about that. This comes from 9315. Again, I wish we could play all the in-state teams. It's worth doing. Game was a great example, and I agree. I mean, that's really a lot of it had to do with a lot of those guys were thinking, Utah State probably didn't think we were good enough to go there. So
yeah, they're paying us to come up and play them and things like that.
Let's give them a game.
And I remember when we got started, we were the first team to play Weber State, and boy, they licked their chops coming up against us when they were back in the day and stuff. And then finally, everybody started playing.
So couldn't agree more with 93-15 on that.
We should have. There should be in-state games. I mean. It doesn't look at right now. North Carolina's lost 2 or 3 games, but they're not going to have to worry about their record and things like that. You play good teams; it's going to make you better in conference play. These kind of games are going to make anybody better in conference play.
Yep.
If you played and play on home floors. We used to play home and home with Utah, BYU, Weber State. We played 6 in-state games as far as our schedule. So your schedule was always good in the preseason before we play in league.
Well, but teams are sitting back. And they're looking at how can we, position ourselves ready for an ad large bid, and it's unfortunately. We got this from 1326. We shot well from the 3, but took far too many. We should have been able to take it to Utah Tech near the basket. we were 13 for 31, but you look at the last 3 games, we shot 31, 29, and 31. So this seems – I just didn't like the times that we took threes. Okay. I think there were opportunities where the ball could have been driven in, looked for a basket. We didn't shoot a lot of free throws tonight, only 16. And I would like to have seen – I think we could have gotten more had we been a little more aggressive. But again, 13-26 is spot on. And, they continued on. We need to make more bounce passes.
We did a good job if we attacked their defense coming from one side, quickly getting to the other side, getting in reverse. They couldn't get as many guys in the way. That's where we got some of our shots out of this game. And we got better at times defensively. I mean, and then the second half, I'm sure we were so geared on Gooden that we lost a few of the other guys. That's where Gonsalves, that's where the leader guy in the second half, and he drove the ball to the basket and made some things and got to the foul line quite a bit too against us.
No doubt. But you turn around and you look at what happened with Funk. A couple of great passes, dishes there to Akin towards the end of the game. And I think that's where they recognized, okay, they can hit the shot. And Akin just did such a great job in the paint. I watched him before the game tonight specifically, and he went to the other side of the court and just practiced on little moves in the paint. Didn't go out and try and shoot three-pointers. Didn't try. He
knows that's not his deal.
And that's what he needs to do.
Yep.
Great question here from 9315. How do you think we played without Rylan in the game?
Rylan makes it, like we talked with the coach before the game, Rylan makes it so much easier to play basketball when he's playing his way, and the other 4 play a whole lot better when he's in there.
Yeah.
So
and if he's lost for any
4 minutes
time,
is all it was tonight.
Yeah. If we lose him for an extended amount of time,
and that didn't look good,
it's going to hurt.
That's for sure. We got more to talk about post game. We'd love to have your comments again. We'll get players and coach, we hope, in just a minute from the Spectrum. Still waiting to get that sent down to us. Final score is 86-81. Aggies beat Utah Tech tonight in their first ever meeting with the Trailblazers from St. George. We'll be right back on Game Day on KVNU, brought to you by Prodigy Brewing, downtown on Center Street. Again, that's the spot. Pizza, burgers, and brews. How about lunch tomorrow? And again, look for Prodigy Brewing on Center Street, downtown Logan. And this weekend, how about their Sunday brunch, also available? Game Day continues after the win after this.
You have to see it to believe it. The new Three Peaks Medical Plaza is Cache Valley's newest and most up-to-date medical facility. Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat, the Allergy Clinic, and the Hearing Aid Center are now located in the Three Peaks Medical Plaza in North Logan. The entire staff and Drs. Benyon, Blotter, and Robinette look forward to helping you and your family at this state-of-the-art medical facility. Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat is now located in Providence and Three Peaks Medical Plaza, 2245 North 400 East in North Logan. Go to CacheValleyENT.com for details. Most insurance products, including SelectMed, are accepted.
Daryl's Appliance is feeling the Christmas spirit and wants to spread some cheer. Join them December 17th to enter to win a KitchenAid stand mixer and other prizes at Daryl's during their in-store event. Get some hot cocoa and a picture with their special guests, Santa and Mrs. Claus. They have Christmas specials all December on GE, Whirlpool, and other appliances. Plus, get 12 months interest-free financing and Daryl's famous service that backs every sale. Only at Daryl's, west on Airport Road.
Holiday parties and events at the Riverwoods Conference Center offer a festive and fun holiday atmosphere. Paired with catering from the Elements Restaurant, your special occasion can include tasty hors d'oeuvres, delicious entrees, and decadent desserts that always deliver excellence. Now accepting reservations for the 2022 holiday season, the Riverwoods Conference Center and Elements Restaurant can accommodate you whether your event is large or small. Visit theriverwoods.com or call 750-5151.
When it comes to home care, it's important to know you have a choice. If you or a loved one is in need of hospice or home health services, remember that Primrose Home Care and Hospice believes in treating the patient as well as the problem. We work directly with you and your doctor to create a health plan that's catered to your needs. Our team is devoted to providing options in the freedom and safety of your own home. Visit us at primrosecare.com or call to schedule a free consultation. Primrose Home Care and Hospice, your local hospice and home health provider since 2006.
As a small business, achieving your financial goals and ambitions can be a steep and rocky mountain to climb. This is Brett Green, president of Cache Valley Bank. To conquer this mountain and achieve your goals, it takes planning, hard work, and discipline. At Cache Valley Bank, we have the resources, expertise, and flexibility to help you scale your way to success. Give us a call. Let's work together and climb the mountains that await. Cache Valley Bank, member FDIC.
Advanced Heating and AC, the two-time gold medal winner in Best in Northern Utah. They're teaming up with Carrier Heating and Cooling. Carrier provides you the best furnace units available, and now's the best time to buy a new unit before the weather turns Cache Valley cold. Financing options are available. Turn to the experts at Advanced Heating and Carrier. Advanced Heating and Air Conditioning, 752-7272, or stop by their showroom west of DI and online at advancedheating-ac.com.
We're not comfortable until you are. Advanced Heating and Air.
KVNU Game Day continues with Aggie Call. More analysis about today's game and your chance to talk about it. Call 753-KVNU or 800-369-KVNU.
Aggies had their first perfect November on their schedule since back to like 2009, I think it was. And now they go into December, and by the end of the month, John, we're playing conference games. We play on the 31st of December.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing how quickly this comes around, but certainly have a stretch here that will make the Aggies look at who they are and what they can do. If you don't mind, I'd like to go back to the comment earlier in the text line.
Okay.
From 9315.
Feel free, because we're still waiting to hear from something from the Spectrum and haven't got any reaction yet. I don't know what's going on up there, but we're brought to you incidentally by Les Olson Company, your office technology partner. Appreciate them as a sponsor of Game Day on KVNU. 86-81, Aggies beat Utah Tech.
Yeah.
Never led by any more than 10, I don't think, of the game.
They kept it a game, no doubt. Big news, though, is what's happened to Rylan Jones. We'll hopefully find out a little bit more. As he said, he was holding his jaw as he was leaving. But 9315, comment was, how did they play without him? And we've heard this over and over. He's a coach's son. We've heard this from a coach saying that, he really is the floor general, as they like to say. He knows the game. He knows the intellectual part of the game. Not the greatest athlete. He's not a guy that's going to go out and beat people off the dribble left and right. But he's so smart and he knows the game. But what he knows, which is even more important, is the ability to set other people up. And with Ashworth, he phenomenal game again. But when you add that pressure of him having to handle the ball over the season, that's going to wear him down.
Well, remember last year, there was a time he kind of carried us for a while. And eventually it was really only Ashworth there for a while, and we couldn't win those close games when he was playing good. I did have Rylan on as my guest before the game, talking about things, and he was hoping he'd stay away from injury because he had it in the preseason rather than in the season this year. He kind of hurt his foot during the preseason. I did not get a chance to play. When I asked Coach Odom yesterday, I knew I was going to talk to Rylan. I said, Coach, tell me how much he really means to the team. Here's what the coach said.
Rylan just gives everybody comfort out there. His coaches, obviously, most importantly, included in that. He's a savant in terms of how he knows the game and understands the game well before we get out on the court and start playing our opponent. He's preparation for the game, his understanding of what we're trying to get accomplished, both offensively and defensively, is at the highest of levels. He's the guy that you want to play with, right? When you're out on the court, because he's going to give you the ball in a good spot. And now he's adding the ability to, score the basketball as well to that and shooting it well. So, he's just a special player.
There it is.
Yeah.
And missed tonight again, and we hope it's not missing for a long time. Again, it didn't look good. We do now have Coach Odom from the Spectrum, and it's brought to you by Alpine Home Medical, your one-stop shop for home medical equipment service provider. 774-4500, the number, bringing you Coach Odom. So I believe this is the press conference after the game, as, again, the Aggies win 86-81, and the coach after the game.
You guys ready to roll?
Looks like here it is.
Comment. Yeah, thank you. Obviously, a great game. Really proud of our guys for fighting through that game and figuring out a way to come out with a victory. I thought Utah Tech played a great game. They had an excellent game plan. They're a physical team. They've got some good players. They're well coached. They were competitive. I think I said it before. They're physical. and they took the fight to us from the very beginning. And our guys responded, obviously, heading into halftime, an unfortunate foul, heading into halftime, it kind of killed a little bit of the momentum there, but you can't win a game in the first half. And, we had to clean up some things. Gooden, he got too much separation in the first half, and he had quite a few plays, and credit to him, he's a shifty guard, and he was able to get around us. We were getting screened, and that's where the physicality came in, and our guards were trailing too much. And then when you're trying to trail and get back in front, now all of a sudden, he's the guys that are so good with the ball like he is, can pull it back and create that separation. And so we put Z on him that last 2 minutes, and he got Z once, and then Z guarded him the second time. Wanted to just have a little bit more length on him, there. And then we tried to switch up in the second half, just our, coverages on him. Obviously, Ryland's injury early in the game, changed the rotations, a bit, and it was unfortunate for him to go down on that play, especially so early in the game. And then we were in foul trouble, so we had to work through that. There's a bit of adversity, throughout. Sean's got 3, Z's got 3, then all of a sudden, Steven's got 3, then he gets 4. I have to take him out for a little bit. And I thought, once again, the guy stepped up. There was a lineup out there with no Steven, no Ryland that basically we haven't played all year, at this point. The last time we played it was in the scrimmages. And so I thought that lineup did a nice job of keeping them in front. They got a couple of buckets there, missed switches, not switching up, but I thought that lineup did a good job. I thought one of the key players in this particular game for us was RJ. RJ was thrust into it again, and he made 2 big buckets. Might have gotten fouled on a couple of others that he drove that were not called. Just a judgment call, whatever. But from my viewpoint, he could have had another one, there. I thought he played well. And, a guy that started all last year, easily could be on the bench whining about not playing. That's not who he is as a person, and he's a true Aggie. And I was happy to see him perform well. Easily could have put him back in, after he played so well, but I took him out because he got a little bit tired there, during that stretch. But, some of the turnovers were tough for us, early, but to finish with 12, obviously, and for us to finish with 12 against that aggressive, defense, sending us to the baseline, pretty good outing, 24 assists. They got to the line too much, against us, and we're probably the more physical team throughout, and so that's something that we can learn from, going forward. But never going to complain about a victory. The crowd was tremendous and really helped us, in this game. There were some huge moments. The tempo got going in that second half. The crowd got into it, and our guys responded. So always great to play in the Spectrum.
What's Ryland's injury?
Yeah, he just got knocked there. I honestly didn't see the play. I just saw him on the ground and obviously went over there to him. So I haven't talked to our trainer or doctor yet, so I don't know the full details, on that. Yeah, I think he definitely had a cut right here. And so, did he get hit? Obviously he got hit right here, but, I don't know what that means. Did he need stitches? I have no idea.
16 assists on 18 makes in the second half. Shot the ball really well in the second half in general. What kind of clicked in that second frame?
Yeah, just we wanted to be a little more simple, with what we were doing. And, when you have Max with the ball, and they obviously were switching their center on Max. We felt like Max had a good advantage there. Taylor had a good advantage on that switch too. And what we tried to do was just space it out and then begin our drive and kick. And I thought our guys did a nice job of finding one another enough, right? To separate and win the game. Now, we're going to have to play better, going forward. But our guys offensively did a nice job. They did just enough. We began to pass. We were encouraging them. One of the timeouts, we took some ill-advised shots, and where other guys were open. And we've got to make sure that we continue to be that team that's, always looking and reading the defense. And they make it tough because they have early help. We're used to being able to drive the baseline and drive all the way around. You see Steven do that all the time, and Rylan, and then find other guys, and they cut you off, quickly. And so we wanted to make sure that we could work in the middle of the court and then space the court as well, appropriately, so guys had room to work.
Felt like every time you guys needed a shot, it was Steven or Taylor hitting the three. Like, how big are those two in those situations where you need a bucket and they hit a three? Yeah,
they're huge. Yeah, the out of bounds, for Taylor, was a big shot. Steven made a ton of big shots, throughout the game. I thought Dan's and one, was huge, for us. RJ's shots were big. You need them all, right? In order to win. But key moments, certainly those guys are going to be guarded tightly as the season wears on. But the cool thing about our team is we have, a lot of different options, and guys that we trust to shoot the basketball because they've worked at it so much, and they're good shooters and good drivers. So we want to make sure that it's not all about two guys, right? We obviously know that Taylor and Steven are vital to our team.
Both games without Rylan, the San Diego game where he was sick, and now this game, both been the closest games of the year. Just how pivotal is Rylan to this
Yeah,
game?
Rylan's huge to this team. I mean, absolutely. And he kind of gets us started and makes things go and just makes plays. He's a really good player, and so we're hopeful that he's going to be okay and get back. We have a long season. There's going to be injuries, right? And I think we have a pretty good roster, deep roster, where we can have guys come in and out, and somebody else will have to step up if he's out for a bit.
Yeah, and this was a good test for you guys today. Cameron Gooden, obviously a great guard. Got
Yeah.
another guard for San Francisco. Shabazz
Yeah.
is also fantastic. How are you guys kind of preparing for him this week?
I haven't prepared for him at all. Now the assistants have. They started looking at it, but my focus has got to be straight on what's in front of me right now. So once I walk out of here, then it's time. And we obviously know San Francisco is a really good team and well coached, and have gotten off to a great start. And it's going to be a fun game for us, to play in that arena and be in that atmosphere and play against a really good opponent.
Yeah, they just won their game this week that they had earlier, so they've only lost one game. I think they're like 6 or 7 or 7-1, something like that.
Only lost to Davidson at Davidson. They've beaten a Mountain West team. They took care of Fresno.
Mm-hmm.
And they've beat some good teams. Wichita State, Northern Iowa, who's always tough to play. It's going to be a tough matchup. And what's interesting, you look at their lineup, and the majority of the players are transfers.
Mm-hmm.
They've come in from major programs. And so,
Shabazz was there last year when they made the NCAA, I think, wasn't he?
Yeah.
It seemed like he was on their team.
He was, but again, he came from Washington State.
Yeah.
But they've got guys, they've got height, they've got quickness, they've got athleticism. It's going to be a rough matchup, and you're going to need guys to step up that haven't. Trevin's going to have a game. You may see Zapala just for the size, just get a couple of minutes. They've got a couple of 7-footers. They don't play a lot of minutes, but still they can go big on you. The thing that was concerning tonight is, as you talked about, another guy having a career night against Utah State, and Gooden, who just was unstoppable in the first half.
Coach again responded, the 12 turnovers, he was worried about the team with turnovers going into the game and how they'd played, and he's worried about giving up threes, and he had one offensive rebounds. And I don't know if they answered all those questions, but his team only did have one turnover in the last 11 minutes of this game, which was a key time deciding that. And again, to get 24 assists and 12 turnovers, because he said they were really good at forcing turnovers and all of those things. And again, you heard the response again about Rylan, and somebody pointed it out. And in the closest, toughest games, Rylan hasn't been there, and we've had to really struggle to get the wins, and we have. But
well, you need a calm, and that's what Rylan does. He brings a calm to the court, and he takes care of it. That's why he's on the court at the end of the game. He's not there to take the big shot. He's not there to, to do anything other than bring a calm to the team, make the right pass at the right time. And, Coach kept that one pretty close to the vest there, and what happened?
You can tell he has no idea, really, and I guess nobody does at this particular point, how Rylan is.
Yeah.
At least the coach didn't have an idea because he hadn't talked to the team doctors and all of that yet.
Well, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, all we know is that he said he got a little bit of a cut. he said, that
cut
they
right here,
weren't
and
sure.
I think he's talking about the chin. I think, or someplace, because they said that when they went off just listen to the webcast, it was like they were holding his chin or holding his jaw or something.
So hopefully it's nothing too severe, and I'm sure we'll find out the next day or two.
One final break, and then we got Stephen Ashworth from up at the Spectrum now, and so we'll come back with that on Game Day, brought to you by Cache Valley Bank. They always bring you the stats, but again, Cache Valley Bank brings you the best in banking services for you individually and businesses here in the area. Lots of great locations now around all of northern Utah and up into Idaho as well, in Preston. It's Cache Valley Bank is one of our Game Day sponsors here on KVNU. Aggies 86-81 over Utah Valley, or Utah Tech tonight.
Hi, this is Ashley from LSS Insurance. Are you getting 3 or more calls a day about Medicare? Telemarketers that offer an amazing Medicare benefit? That amazing offer may be available if you live in Florida or Arizona. At LSS Insurance, we offer the right plans for our area, and I guarantee you will get better benefits at a lower cost. It's time to enroll or change your Medicare plan. Call LSS Insurance at 752-9493 or go to lssins.com or come to our free third Thursday meeting.
If you're thinking about getting engaged this holiday season, S.E. Needham Jewelers is the place to shop for your diamond engagement ring. S.E. Needham's has the largest selection of wedding rings in the area, including hundreds of styles in platinum, white gold, and yellow gold. We import diamonds direct from Antwerp, Belgium, which enables us to guarantee the best price on diamonds. We also offer the most complete warranty and services of any store in the state. Monday through Saturday, 10 to 7, where Utah gets engaged. S.E. Needham Jewelers, middle of the block, at the sign of the clock.
Alpine Home Medical has been around for over 25 years. Can you believe that? Hi, I'm Jay Broadbent. What keeps us coming to work every day? We're passionate about caring for you. From home and bathroom safety to transportation, mobility, recovery, oxygen, sleep, and more, come into any of our 10 locations today and let us take care of you. Visit us at alpinehomemedical.com.
Aggie Game Day continues. Sponsored by Advanced Fireplace and Stove on News Talk KVNU.
St. Louis, John Russell, brought to you in part by Aegis Home Health and Hospice tonight, AEGIS. Get a hold of them at 723-9000 for nursing services and health care in Cache, Box Elder, and Rich County. They've been doing that for 20 years. All right, James wants to join with us tonight. We've heard from James before. James, what did you think of the game tonight, or what question do you want to bring up, or what's going on?
Yeah, thanks, Al. Just a few things. I was really impressed with Aiken's play tonight, and I thought he was it was nice to see him there in the paint. I think as his confidence continues to grow, he can be a real dominant force. So I liked his play tonight. The other comment was, and you mentioned it earlier, Bairstow, he just hasn't been the dominant force lately, and so I'm hoping he can rebound back. And then
we need his athleticism, no doubt about it. We need a Sean Bairstow athletic type guy who can make some with his length and do some things. And he's got to do some more things with defense and rebounding and things like that besides just trying to pound the ball down inside and things like that. So
totally agree with you, Al. He's just a good player, and lately he just hasn't. To your point, the first couple games, the first game,
first game was great.
Really strong. Yeah. And then I know this is a touchy subject, but I was down there close to the floor tonight on the Aggie side, and I just wanted you guys' thoughts. Officiating is tough, right? But boy, it just seemed like there were some really questionable calls tonight that just you just got really frustrated with. The one time when he slipped, I don't remember who they called on, but he slipped. The guy was 2 feet away from him.
The official already had anticipated making a call on the drive and blew his whistle as the guy slipped and fell down. Obviously, that was a bad call. Let's face it, in basketball, when you're on the other side, every call is a bad call against your team, and they're all judgment calls. I understand that, but I know they want to take care of this charge, block, flop stuff. But there just seems to be too much of it. There was an arm bar called on R.J. Idlerock, where he barely did anything different going in on the right side of the lane, and the official called him for shoving the guy away and all that kind of stuff. it's just not consistent. And again, it's early in the year for them too. But again, there's one official in that group who's done it for years. He's done it long enough. He needs to step away.
He needs to step away. Anyway, great win tonight, guys. It's always fun. And to your point, you're talking about the end. I remember growing up, to your point, we played Weber twice. We played Utah twice. We played BYU twice. So it's great to see some of these in-state schools to get back and watch them play again.
Because this is all we're going to get.
Thank you.
Well, this is all we're going to get. Thanks, James, for calling. Yeah, we're not ever going to get Utah and BYU again, probably anywhere, even on a neutral floor, unless they decide to match us up in the tournament or the NIT or something like that. That's probably what's going to end up happening because they're going to the big time. And they do not want to lose to a Utah State, which, again, most of the time is a top close to 50 to 60 team, no matter what Utah State is in the RPIs or whatever they are. And it's not going to be a bad loss, and it's going to be a great game for them.
And, you know, the problem is, though, is that's what they're all sitting around in their little war rooms right now saying, well, that's why we don't want to play Utah State. Look what happened. Utah Tech almost beat them. No, it's a good win for you. And if you don't win, whose fault is it? Yeah. BYU comes up here and loses. Utah comes up here and loses. Whose fault is that? That's your coaching staff. It's your players for overlooking it. And
we hadn't beaten BYU in like 10 straight times or something like that. You know, Dan Atkin, I thought at the start of the game tonight, I remember thinking for the first little while he was in there, this is some of the I had not seen him play and not make major contributions. And then all of a sudden, the second half, he really did make a big statement in this game.
He really did. And the thing I like most about him is he likes to play inside.
He loves it.
It's, you know, I don't mean to, you know, speak poorly of other guys, and I won't mention by name, but this year, last year, there's some big guys that it'd be nice to see him inside a little more. But what is the game today? It's dunks and three-pointers.
Yep, and he's a dunker, and he's an aggressive guy, and he plays aggressively and makes things happen and stuff. And he
doesn't mind banging around in there, no doubt.
Yep, got to do that. All right, we need to pause for station identification right here at the top of the hour.
News Talk KVNU, Logan, the voice of Northern Utah. 610 AM and 102.1 FM.
And again, the Aggies win 86-81. Post-game coverage complete for all of you in the local area, a radio station you can hear. And we cover everything, give you a chance to talk about it. All of that available here on our post-game coverage. My Mattress, remember, does have IntelliBed, Tempur-Pedic, and need a spare bed for the guests for the holiday season. They are available. Tonight in high school, incidentally, Logan beat Spanish Fork. Ridgeline won at the buzzer in their game they had against Desert Hills. Skyview beaten Cedar. Bear River beat North San Pete. I don't know yet about Mountain Crest in their game down south and playing in this north-south. But, again, a Utah guy who played high school basketball, and now, boy, aren't we glad he's with the Aggies. Yes. Again, he continues to have game after game after game of big numbers. Leading scorer off the bench in the entire country. Might be a starter now. Who knows what's happening with the Rylan Jones deal. But post-game in the Spectrum was Stephen Ashworth.
Okay, ask for questions for Stephen. Move waters, tablets, yeah.
You good? How do you guys like it? Do you like an opening comment? Or? Sure,
go for it.
A lot of fun to be back in the Spectrum. Felt like it's been a whole new season since we've played. You know, we were just talking about it in the locker room. It's hard to get back into the swing of things after a Thanksgiving break, after a few days off, but you know, I was proud of the guys and the way that we found a way to win, especially without our point guard. You know, it's difficult when something like that happens really early in the game, not only for our momentum, but just our psyche. And so it was difficult throughout the stretch. We were in foul trouble a little bit, but guys stepped up when we needed to, and we were able to get the win.
So what was it like for you personally? Obviously, you're the main understudy for Jones. Like, what was that like? Where basically at that point, it felt like you might have had to play the rest of the game, you know, as the point guard.
Yeah, you know, I had a few games last year where that did end up happening with Rylan going out for a few games last year, and really me being our only other point guard. But you know, the good thing about this team is that every single guard has improved their handle, and you know, as you saw, Max brought it up a lot. Taylor even was in the ball screens, Z. So I think that we're a little more versatile this year. So there wasn't that much pressure once it happened. It was more so just, you know, worry for my best friend and one of our good teammates.
How hard was it to guard that Cameron Goodwin guy, that number 3, that first half? And how did you guys slow him down in the second?
I think it came down to being a little bit more physical, just having a little bit more grit in our defensive strategy, and just taking a little more pride on defense. He's a very talented player, as we saw, hit a lot of tough shots, and at the same time he got in his rhythm. And I think in the second half we were a little bit better at making sure we fought over the ball screens or got to different options, so he wasn't able to get his first best look in offense.
It's not like you're not watching film on these guys when they come in, no matter what the opponent is, but how did Utah Tech, did they surprise you guys? Was there anything in the first half from them that you may not have expected?
I don't know if it was lack of expecting as much as just their general execution. They, they ran their sets well, and they have some big physical bigs down low, which makes the guards help in a little bit, which then opens the perimeter for threes. And they hit some threes, and we talk a lot about making people miss, and I just don't think we did that tonight. I don't think we forced forced them to miss shots. They were kind of open and were in their rhythm. So
sometimes as the game goes on, it continues to be tight. The team that's supposed to win a lot of times tightens up, but it never seemed like you guys really ever tightened up. I mean, every time they rallied and come back, you guys answered.
Yeah, I think that it's a testament to this team and just how much fun we have playing together. And in those moments, a lot of our huddles are talking about how we love it. This is why we play college basketball. It's to play games like this and to be in here with an electric atmosphere, with a great Spectrum crowd, in close games. And we play games like this to prepare us for conference, to help us win as many games as we can in conference, and ultimately win a Mountain West championship.
Was part of that layoff also took a little while to get the rhythm of shots going in? Because it seemed like threes just weren't, they were just a titch high, rimming out and different things, but it seemed like as the game went on, you guys picked it up a lot.
Yeah, I think, our halftime, we were talking about how we kind of got that rust off, we're ready to roll, and, in a way, though, that's inexcusable. It's something that we just have to be more mentally tough and more physically ready for, whatever the season throws at us.
24 assists on the game. How important was that, especially in the second half, for sort of getting the offense back to moving, and then it was really kind of going there at the end?
Yeah, it was big. We share the ball really, really well, and we trust guys to hit shots, and so kind of figuring out their defensive scheme and how they guard and force people, they really don't let people get to the middle, which allows them to know where their help is coming from. And so I think later in the second half, we just figured it out a little bit more of knowing where our cuts should come from and where our shooters will be. And that led to a few more open shots, and guys were ready to knock them down.
There's Stephen Ashworth after the game in the Spectrum. He's a good player. He really is, and he is. He's on it right now. And again, he goes to the court where Steph Curry plays his home games, and he can be like Steph. In that game because he can shoot the ball.
Well, we're going to need him to. We're going to need him to really be able to put things together. The key thing is he was talking about making sure they run their sets the way they should, making sure they're playing the game plan as it's been drawn up, because we're finding out Coach Odom just does a great job. He so different from Craig Smith.
The preparation. It's a different way of practicing the way Coach Odom did and Coach Smith. And I thought Coach Smith's practices in these short little bursts that they did were great. But Coach Odom and his staff do a great job too, in a different way. But they get it done, and the preciseness and the way they did things. Those inbounds plays. Remember, we've talked about the inbounds plays seem to be kind of a struggle, and they've really worked on them. And they worked tonight. A couple of them really great.
Well, I know the question was just thrown out there, being Ryland's understudy. I don't think Steve Ashworth is quite an understudy, but it's going to be interesting to see how the team plays out, because you don't want that all on his shoulders.
It does change a little of the dynamic, because lately Ryland and him together has been a pretty good combination.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as he mentioned, we're going to have to see Shulga bringing the ball up a little more. I think you'll start seeing maybe Funk being a little more involved as far as getting the ball across the court, and hopefully Idle Rocks. Let's not forget, we've been a little critical of him. You can tell he's just still not in game shape. But if he can get in game shape, that's
surgery
another
off season. Then he had some illness or sickness here the last little bit that's kind of slowed him up a little bit. But
so nonetheless, but tough game coming up. The latest Ken Palm rankings were out. Utah State 56. So
and San Francisco's probably in that.
Actually, San Francisco, I was kind of surprised. They're actually around 91.
Wow. Okay.
So
I'm kind of surprised at that.
Me too.
Okay, anything else, John, then tonight?
That's it.
Okay, we'll be back on Sunday. Our pregame, let's see, the games at 6:30 our time. So we'll be on at 5:30 with the pregame, and then so a 6:30 game, which is streamed on the WCC network, like
Good.
the San Diego's game was. Supposedly, that's what we've heard. No, I thought national TV might pick this up somewhere. Like one of the CBS network or Fox or Fox FS1 or whatever, because it's later in the day. The soccer would have been done, and NFL's almost done at that time.
Well, let's put all the Fox Network execs that are listening to our show right now. Yeah. Put the game on. It's going to be a good game.
They've just been it has not worked very well to have Fox with our conference.
Not at all.
The whole deal, the way their commitment is not exactly first class in doing things. But it'll be on the WCC network, streamed like the Mountain West network is. So it'll be 6:30. So around 8:30, John and I will probably be back on with all of the post-game information after we hope an Aggie win against San Francisco to stay undefeated and go to 7-0. 86-81 the final. I think we mentioned the Aggies shot 55%. They shot 48%, but they shot 52 from three, and the Aggies 42, and the Aggies were the best three-point shooting team in the nation. They'll go down a little. They won't be number one anymore, but they're still way up there. And again, Ashworth 27, 20 for Funk, 10 for Shulga, along with 10 assists and 4 rebounds. And then you had 15 for Akin, along with the 5 rebounds in the game. Z had 2, Idle Rock had 5, Dorius had 2. Ryland Jones did not score in the 4 minutes he was in. And then Bairstow had 5 with a rebound in the game. And 29 for Gooden. I believe I looked it up. 27, I think, was his career high. Aggies did win the bench points 49-19, the paint points 26-18. The fast break points in the game were 7-0 for Utah State. But they had the Utah Tech team had 7 offensive rebounds, the Aggies 4, so they won the second chance 13-2. Stats always brought to you by Cache Valley Bank. We'll join our programming in progress on the Jim Bohannon Show, which of course has an interim host until they officially decide to change the name of the show after Jim passed away, longtime radio legend in talk. And John Russell and I will be back on Sunday, and Jalen Moore and I will be on before the game. We mentioned Jalen's keys to the game earlier, and I could just check those again real fast for you if I can find the right piece of paper. There they are. Again, dominate more inside. Eventually, we did get more of the bench points. We got Atkin there late in the game. Stronger defense. We didn't do that. Didn't hold them under 70 points. That was what Jalen wanted to happen. And the scoring inside out, not all threes. Again, we had more 2s than 3s in this game, and Utah State wins 86-81. So that's it. Final, and we'll be back on Sunday for another edition of KVNU Aggie Game Day. Thanks to the sponsors, including Jarek's Fine Jewelry, coming up as their Find a Pearl event. They're, buy a pearl and give it away as a great Christmas gift. Make sure you talk about that. I think it's this next weekend, not this weekend, but next weekend from Jarek's Fine Jewelry. And the final stats always from Cache Valley Bank on our KVNU Game Day. Good night from KVNU and the Radio Ranch.